Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. Just jump right into roll call. Luke Aguilar?
Here.
Dr. Kathleen Barlow?
Here.
Joey Bryant?
Here.
Dr. Serafini is excused. Trey Justin?
Here.
Dr. Martin Kennedy?
Here.
Brittany Kinsella?
Here.
Jacqueline Robinson?
Here.
Lacey Lankins? Renee Skiles?
Here.
Brittany Stamnus?
Here.
Spencer Sutton?
Here.
Tom Botron? Moving on to the approval of this week's agenda. If you could look at the agenda for this week. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this week's agenda. Trey moves, Jacqueline seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Moving on to the approval of last week's minutes. You can take a minute and review that. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve last week's minutes. Trey moves. Is there a second? Spencer seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Motion passes. Moving on to the reports for this week. I have no reports.
The extended reports I have is two things. One, just as an update for the committee to be aware of, the Governor Inslee did put in place prohibited non-essential state travel to North Carolina. So if we do have any travel coming up on that, we have to keep that in mind. That there is a ban on state money being used for that. The only other piece is just an update for those that's moved for business finance and went through the University Policy Advisory Committee today. The updated debt policy reserve and the reserve policy, which is factoring into what we're using next year. Both of those were approved by UPAC today, so as we assumed they would be. We do have an update on just where we're standing.
Oh. So we have about $51,000 left for the remaining of the year.
Perfect. Moving on to public comment first call. Is there any public comment at this time?
Why are there brownies?
Yeah.
Why are there brownies? Someone's birthday?
No. Bringing food for the community.
I didn't know if there was like a birthday.
Yeah.
You missed it.
It's a surprise. You were late, so you don't get it wrong. So. Oh, I did say, and this really isn't public comment, but as an add-on, going back to the reports for the chair, just that Gary does have a copy of the letter that the committee sent previously with the base funding up to Board of Trustees. I know we discussed that last week that we may want to draft something to accompany it. So I did give that to Gary, so he's going to work on that. So that's his report.
Is there any further public comment at this time? Seeing none, moving into section 7, old business, voting on supplemental funding request 1724, the ACSM in the amount of $705. Table is open for discussion.
I do have a comment. This was really going to go under communications received, but since it relates to this, I will share it since it's from the presenter of this. Just saying, I want to thank Destiny Committee for the time and listening to my presentation. Doing undergraduate research is a great deal of new and exciting work, and you do not necessarily expect the opportunity of publication. As far as personal funds for this trip, being a non-traditional student, I'm also a single mom of 2 children. I'm finishing my 4th consecutive year of college as a senior now at CWU, therefore personal funds are extremely limited. I will be contributing my research to CWU's SOARS conference as well as in physiology class lectures. Sincere thanks.
I would like to make a motion to approve the full amount.
There's a motion on the table in the full amount. Jacqueline seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Motion passes. Moving on to old business, section B, the flat funding updated language. I'd like to pass this around.
So there's a copy going around, just based on the feedback last week, just have the updated date, as well as it will be going to the Dean of Student Living, since she oversees, or Associate Dean of Student Living, since she oversees these areas, and then the Directors of Student Union, Recreation, Student Involvement, so all the areas that are flat funded. For the most part, this is the exact same as last week, with the exception of, it does say the original 2006 flat funding agreement, since that was the year. I did put in the year of the committee who sent the previous concern, saying the 2012-2013 committee, and then did update the language when we say salary increases will constitute mandatory increases due to cost of living, minimum wage, or step increases. I did confirm that is the correct language there. So now, just this point of information would be the point if anyone has any additional edits or additions or corrections. If not, then potential motion to move this forward as official. And we'll send it out.
I will make a move to approve this memo.
There's a motion on the table to approve the memorandum. Luke seconds. Is there any discussion? Dr. Barlow?
Oh, no, I was second.
Oh, second. Luke seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
We'll send this out tomorrow.
Moving on to section 8, new business, supplemental funding request presentation 1725, the Music Fest Northwest competition in the amount of $4,706.40.
Oh, yeah. You just put it next to that.
Hi, my name is Holly Chapman, and this is Will Larson, and this is the rest of the CWU Food Studio over here. And today we're going to be asking for funding for Music Fest Northwest.
So Music Fest Northwest is an annual competition that's held in Spokane, Washington at Gonzaga University. It started, as you can see, in 1945, so it is a really strong annual tradition in that community. There are 10 competition categories, including both music and dance. And it's one of the largest festivals of this kind in the United States, having over 1,000 participants each year.
And this year's competition is going to be happening from the 15th through the 19th, but our students will be competing on the 15th and 17th. Most of us will be competing in the Young Artist Competition on the 17th, and we'll be traveling over the Sunday night before that. The clinician this year is Dr. John McMurtry. He's the professor at Flute at Western Illinois University, and students will be competing in 3 different competitions, including the Young Artists.
So we have 11 members of our Flow Studio, most of which are here. Some couldn't be here because of work or classes, competing in this. Freshmen to graduate students. So we have, I believe, 2 freshman students and then all the way up to grad students. Most of us, as Holly said, are in the Young Artist Competition, 10 of us. We have one competitor that's in 2 other categories, and that's Krisha Joyner. She actually won this competition last year and was able to perform with the Spokane Symphony, so she is ineligible to be in the Young Artist Competition, so she's decided to do other other categories, I suppose.
And so the benefits to us are going to be that we get adjudication by Dr. McMurtry. After a performance, he gets to work with us each one-on-one and provide us years of experience. He's not only a professor, he was also, he studied under the principal flute of the New York Philharmonic many years ago. And we also gain performance experience both in a high-pressure competition setting and also when we get the opportunity to perform with an orchestra as the chosen soloist. The three main areas that we're going to develop musically are our sight reading. There's a sight reading portion for the artist category, solo performance, and memorization for the concerto portion itself. We will also get to observe other students' clinics and see what Dr. McMurtry has to say to them. And we get exposure to everyone's different styles and voices. We also get to network with other students and Dr. McMurtry himself that are going to be present at this competition and develop professional skills, presentation of ourselves, and again, networking. And this is resume and CV building for us, so this is something that not all students will have on their resume, particularly if we win.
And this also benefits the student body of Central as a whole, not just our flute studio or the music department. One of the greatest things we get to do is share our knowledge and our experiences with other people. So we will be going out and getting this information, and then we can in turn come back and bring it to Central Washington as a whole. We can share our information. We're also representing Central. In the music community, Central Washington is really viewed positively. We have a really strong program, and it gives us a really good reputation. And it's not just the music department. When people hear Central Washington University, they do think of our holistic university. As you can see up here, we've had a lot of past winners of this competition, including Krisha, who's still in our studio. And so it really shows that Central is professional and we have exceptional players and students at our university. And then another really large aspect of this is that it is recruitment for our university. This competition houses competitors from middle school all the way until graduate. So with our name out there, they can see us as a viable option for maybe going and attending school or coming back and getting more education later on.
And this last portion is an excerpt of Krisha's performance last year with this one. I don't know.
Okay, hi everybody. So last year I won, and it was an amazing opportunity, experience. In a lot of ways, as they said, the main two for me is one, being able to solo with a professional orchestra is not something that many people get to do, and as an undergrad, being able to do that was awesome and really taught me a lot about my own playing and helped me work out connections with the director there. Also, it differentiates me from other flute players, so when I go to grad auditions in a year, or when I audition for an orchestra or something, they'll see that I've won a competition, and it's something I can talk about with my students.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I have a question. It says a trumpet piece. What is that exactly?
Accompanist.
Oh, yeah.
So that's who plays the piano with us. So within each of the three sections of our category, we have the sight reading, and then a solo performance, and then a piece that they pick out for us. For the solo and for the piece that they pick out, you have to have a piano player playing with you. So obviously with rehearsals and then having her go and travel to the event, it costs money. So we're asking to help offset some of those fees for our students because it doesn't become
So on here, it says that there's two of them. One is $40 and then the other is $1,890. Why is there like such a big difference?
The one that is much less, she's actually only accompanying one student. With scheduling conflicts and everything, we couldn't get everyone to be in with Chris Eisenberg, the one that is the bigger amount. So we had to supplement someone else in that. So that's why there are two.
And Chris's fees are quite a bit larger because she is traveling from a larger distance, but we also can't ask faculty members to travel during the school day. So she is our favorite. So is she not a professor here? She's from...
No, she lives in Polsbo, but most all of our studio works with her. We have a really good working relationship with her. So we're all really comfortable performing with her and everything. And as Holly said, it's hard to ask a professor to take an entire day out of their schedule to come with us and to Spokane and accompany us.
I have a question about the mileage and lodging for the winter. Are those hypothetical amounts, or can you explain what mileage for the winter and lodging for the winter means?
So if we do have a winner from here, it will of course cost the money to travel back. Most of us are also competing in the concerto competition sponsored by Central Washington that Tuesday, and we can't miss 3 full days of classes. And on Wednesday, they're required to come back for a rehearsal and then perform with the symphony that Wednesday night. So it'll be 2 separate days that the winner would be required to be out of class and traveling to Spokane.
I see that there's the mileage and ferry and lodging for Chris. Is there no travel cost for the other accompanist, Catherine?
She will be going with the students.
Oh, okay, so already.
Yeah, it's already worked with her and everything.
Are there any further questions for the presenters? Thank you. We'll be voting on this next week.
Thank you.
Moving on to supplemental funding request presentation 1726, the ACLP in the amount of $1,958.
Probably the mouse.
Yeah, I know.
Just maybe 1%.
It's, yeah, beginning long. You're good. Why don't you talk over it?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Allie Kratzer. I'm a graduate student here in the Family and Child Life Program and Family and Consumer Sciences. We're requesting $1,958 to attend the ACLP conference down in Las Vegas over Memorial Day weekend. For those of you who don't know what Child Life is, Child Life specialists work in pediatric settings, both inpatient and outpatient, to help children and their families cope with the anxiety and stress that's caused by the hospitalization. The Association for Child Life Professionals, who is putting on this conference, helps child life professionals with internships. They coordinated internships, so every hospital has potentially the same guidelines. And they also offer professional certification, so we take our exam through them to become a certified child life specialist. So for the Central Washington University Child Life Club, for service, giving back to the community, we have on campus, we have children or students who help care for children for the Family Resource Center parenting groups. We also visit Mary Bridge Children's Hospital, Virginia Mason Memorial Hospital down in Yakima to help children. And so the upcoming trip we have in Seattle Children's is helping put ports and IVs into teddy bears that the children can then use so they understand what's going on with them. And for fundraising, we did Valentine's Day candygrams. We did a gift basket raffle where businesses in the community donated to us and we put baskets together. And then the last part of fundraising is we did a Cornerstone sponsorship night where we did raffle off those baskets and we got some money from the proceeds from Cornerstone. So the 2017 conference this year is in Las Vegas, as I mentioned. It's from May 25th through 28th, and it's not only a national conference, there's over 1,000 attendees from all over the world bringing their point of views. There's keynote speakers on top of workshops. We get to pick the workshops which help us and which ones help us most. There's also poster sessions, and then there's tours of children's hospitals there, and there's also networking opportunities, as I mentioned, for internships and jobs in the future. So student benefits, like I was mentioning, networking, the internship is a 600-hour internship, and so it's good to get our name out there and talk to different children's hospitals to see the best fit for them as well as the best fit for us. For research, there's exposure to current studies, there's poster presentations there. It helps us with our presentation skills and how we can improve on our presentation skills by watching others. And there's opportunities for us to present our research next year, and also at regional conferences such as the one down in Portland this year. The best practices, so there's always new innovations and new technology for child life. One of the big ones right now is virtual reality, when children are going through the MRI machines to help them not feel so confined. And it also helps us with our professional development and our personal growth. So student benefits, how can other Central students benefit? Of the people who are going, we are all part of the Child Life Club, so we can bring back our knowledge to them. There's also a graduate club here for Family and Consumer Sciences. And then we have a bulletin board which people read that we can post information on, Facebook page, and we can also bring it back into class discussions to help further those. And it also helps with our program and university reputation. We are only a second-year graduate program, and so it's really nice to get our school out there and to help with that. So the selection process of who gets to go, graduate students have first priority, and then club officers, also other engaged child life students. They've attended the mandatory meetings that we've had, and they've also committed to the fundraising aspect and contributing out-of-pocket funds. So the budget justification, so for the hotel, we did the conference rate, so it was cheaper, and we're staying for a room. For the registration, we all registered for the early bird registration, which was $355 instead of $555 because we did it early. Transportation, we're not asking for mileage reimbursement, we're only asking for fuel costs and parking off airport, so it's not $28 a day, it's going to be $7 a day instead. And then for the airfare, we've been watching the flights go up and down, and right now it's looking about $300 per person to fly down there. And then also for personal expenses, we've all agreed to pay for our own food, and we've also, we're contributing at least $75 out of pocket. So this is just the anticipated costs for the hotel. We're staying at the Paris, which is where the conference is. We got the conference rate, so it's $192.75 per person. Registration, as I said, we got the early bird rate, so that helped a lot. So $2,840, and you can see the transportation, so fuel, parking, and airfare. This is also just a supplemental request. We've used club account money and fundraising money. We've done the student out-of-pocket contribution. We've gotten money from Club Senate, and we've requested from Academic Senate as well. So we're requesting $1,958 for supplemental. Do you have any questions for us?
Benefits? Have you gone to this conference in years before?
We have, as a program, I have not. This was my first year as a grad student. I went somewhere else for undergrad. So I know Dr. Claridge has attended before, and their students have attended, some of them as well.
I can just throw out there, since this is a really great conference. We go to a couple of other conferences just in our field, and they're really, really research focused, and this one actually is more practice focused, and so I feel like students can really engage in all of the sessions, and it's really conversational and kind of role plays and interactive. So I think it's a really good conference for students to go to. They bring back a lot from it.
Any further questions for the presenter? Thank you. We'll be voting on this next week. Moving on to section 8B, the circuit counting carry forward. For your information, that is the work order 2213.
So Vicki wasn't able to make it today, so I am presenting on this. We are actually asking to use 8,500 of our carryover to help kind of remodel our office a little bit. Basically what that means, I think that she provided a sketched on the back of it too. But basically what it'll do is it'll create a little bit more security for workers and a little bit more be able to have private conversations or more one-on-one conversations, because right now it's getting pretty filled with traffic, and then we are also sharing our office with another group on campus too. So basically what this is going to do is going to put a wall up which will have a window, so you almost kind of like a cashier's office, and that you walk up to and kind of be able to help and flow traffic a little bit better. So does anybody have any questions on what that's for?
How long has this been in the works?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I sat on a committee last year, now the student union advisory board committee. I feel like we voted on this. Was that something different, or do you think it's been in the works for over a year?
I will say Lacey probably doesn't know since she just started a week ago officially.
Yeah, Monday officially.
I don't know for certain when. I know it was one that there was conversation about for a while, but I don't know since it was Circuit County the exact date or time frame.
If you look at the facility request, it says January 2016. Andrew Sullivan initiated it.
Did you share the opposite?
It's
Student engagement.
student engagement. And so it's kind of an office that splits this
Well, it used to be Campus Life. So the director of Campus Life, who oversees campus or student involvement, who oversees campus activities, student government, all of those. When you go in to the right is Circuit County, to the left is student involvement.
And right now, there's nothing that really prevents anybody just to kind of walk through. And we do, as you guys probably know, a lot of cash handling, and we have kind of a little mini bank in there. So this would hopefully kind of make sure that the people that are coming through that area are actually coming in there for reimbursements and that type of thing. And then we can kind of hold everybody else out where, you know, where we can deal with them out there. Also, one point that they wanted me to make is that the other side of the office is open after hours too, and we're closed at 5. And so if they're open, we're open too. So as of right now, there's no way to really close our office unless both doors are locked.
Do you know if this project went out for bid?
Well,
Contractors, or
technically we
does this
can't
facility
do that. We have to go through our facilities here on campus.
Is that something to do with like the building lease terms or something like that? That can't be a private company?
It probably has to do with the union, actually.
So the estimate's $10,000, what are the rest?
Well, they actually came, the original estimate was, but then if you see on the back, it is actually about 8,100 is what they're thinking of now. So back in a year ago, they thought maybe 10.
Just to clarify, then you guys aren't requesting money, just carry forward?
Yeah, it's basically our salaries savings that we have from this year from our turnover. So we're not requesting any money. We're just requesting.
Just know that you can't pay for it in a separate year than when you're doing the work.
Oh, yes, and so the work will be done we said summer, but maybe like July. So it would have to be after this fiscal year's over.
Are we looking to approve at this meeting? Or?
I mean, you all can choose to. It would normally go to next week where we would vote on it, but if someone wanted to jump the gun and vote on it this week instead.
Which budget does this come out of?
It comes out of the Circuit County budget. This is really a request similar to what we had from student government and from Veterans Center. This is a request to carry forward $8,500 into their account next year.
Motion to carry forward?
Okay, there's a motion on the table. Brittany seconds. Is there any discussion? Wait, do we have to first? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Moving on to section 9, other business communications received. I've not received anything.
I have, there's a request, and I'm going to put it before the committee. We had a request from the CWU Psychology Club who reached out yesterday regarding a funding request that they're wanting to bring before the committee. They're looking, and I'll just read the message. They want to go to the Western Psychological Association Conference to present their own research, learn about graduate schools, and network with other students and professionals from the West Coast. This year, the conference is held in Sacramento. We thought we would have enough money to go without relying on S&A. However, despite their fundraising efforts, they fell short and just came to finish up the last of their fundraising this last weekend. The conference is next week. It's April 27th through the 30th, and so it's coming up soon. They were wondering if they have any chance to come before the committee. They did attach a funding packet, which I have on here, but because of it's within that time frame, less than the 15 days, I said that I'd bring it before the committee on whether or not you all want to entertain hearing and voting on this next week or not. So it's not determining whether you're funding it, it's whether or not you all want to make the exception to allow them to come next week to present.
Question?
No, I was just gonna entertain, or make a motion to allow us to view it next week.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
My only comment about this is that in committees past, we've been criticized for being inconsistent with these types of decisions, so I was just going to ask in the discussion if we have had any late submittals previously this year. I can't think of any off the top of my head. You know, if we have had any.
We have had one or two other ones that we brought forward. Normally, the general rule with our policy is if there are I mean, technically it's up to the committee regardless of what,
Right.
but normally it's been if there are extenuating circumstances or if it's unexpected funds or things like that. Knowing that and it's up to you all on the way you take this, their justification was that they were hoping to raise enough money on their own without having to come to S&A, but then fell short.
I just found on committees past that it's better to be
Consistent.
harsh and consistent than anything else because it's just easier to face than when they come back. So you can say, hey, why did you do this for vice versa? Anyway, if we have done that in the past and allowed it in the past, then great, or not great, either way, it's fine. I would just like consistency.
And I would say normally when we've allowed it, it has been close to the 15-day time frame. It's not been, they're requesting and it's happening tomorrow.
You know how much the request is for already?
The request, not that this should factor into whether or not you're willing to entertain it, is for $5,000. I will say the total cost is $10,219.
You know, just show it.
So the discussion on hand is about the motion to let them come next week. Is there any further discussion?
Currently, right now, one. And we would be voting on these two. Not that you should all necessarily factor in how quickly we get out of here. We do not have a heavy agenda next week at this point.
Did you have a recommendation? Or is it
My only
a
recommendation is
concern?
that if we have allowed this in the past, that we still allow it. And if we have denied this in the past, that we still deny it. That's my recommendation.
But they're just presenting.
Correct, but
Yeah.
they've submitted this
Like,
with.
Outside
the
the-
present.
yeah,
But they submitted their form, like, without following the rules.
I know.
So,
I understand that, but they're just presenting, we still don't have to approve it.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
normally we wouldn't.
Although I would say the ground, I would necessarily encourage you all to deny funding, but allow them to present if your reason for denying is because they were outside of the time frame. If that makes sense.
Sure, this disorganized, maybe they just won't show up.
It's the day before.
Well, I did ask them because it is the day before they would be leaving. Because I told them they could not get on the agenda for this week for certain. They said they would be fine presenting next week.
Any further discussion about the motion to let them present next week?
But where are they going? Sorry. They could wait until that close to departure to know if it's
Sacramento.
ready.
My guess is they probably already booked things. I don't know, but Yeah, they're going to Sacramento.
Any further discussion about the motion at hand?
Just as a reminder, this is simply the on whether to allow them to present, not on whether we're funding them.
Motion to deny the
Get it here or not?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. One abstention.
No.
One opposed. Any other communications received? Lacey, anything? Moving on to section 10, public comment, second call. Any public comment at this time?
There are cookies and brownies in the back. Please eat them. They will not last till next Wednesday. Or you don't want them to show next Wednesday.
Okay, seeing no more public comment, moving on to section 11, adjournment. Trey moves to adjourn the meeting, Brittany seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? This meeting is adjourned at 6:06 p.m.